What's going on with you guys? Are you working together?
I'm not. I mean, I think that we become friends in a strange way, you know?
Like Robin Big.
Yeah, it's like, exactly.
I'm Big and you're Robin.
Yeah.
Nobody saw it coming. The courtroom was still buzzing from the chaos of the verdict, the tension of weeks packed into a few spoken words. Not guilty. And yet, in that fragile moment where relief might have flooded Diddy's face, the hammer dropped.
The P. Diddy thing's is complete unchecked depravity, like involving young singers, young, like children.
48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. Where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose. It's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
Yeah, no, I mean, to a lot of us, he's like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to call and ask for advice. He's somebody that, in the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, you know, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person besides his talent. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could ever know.
Justin, You know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also while you're
He
out.
got me a Lamborghini.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
That Justin Bieber could have been one of Sean Combs' targets, right? You mentioned it before. Well, as the legal saga against Combs ramped up last year, there was video clips that started to resurface of Combs and Bieber spending some time together. And people noticed that the videos often kind of straddled the line between awkward and inappropriate. And Bieber sometimes seemed really uncomfortable. For example, when Bieber was 15 years old, he uploaded a video to his YouTube channel called 48 Hours with Diddy. And this is where he said he was going to be hanging out with the rapper for a couple of days.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
Now, some fans called out Combs for allegedly grooming behavior they say was exhibited in this video, spending time at his home with a young kid who's suddenly been thrown into the world of fame and money, taking him under his wing, offering up opportunities, maybe gifts that he could only dream of.
Yeah, so as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, it's gonna be yours. So, you turn this to LA, it's a little dusty, but you know, go get the front shot of this.
Man.
Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Now, look, of course, this could all be for the camera, it could be performative. Bieber could have left right after this. We don't really know.
But it didn't come from the judge. It didn't come from the prosecutors. It came from someone who had once stood quietly in Diddy's shadow, Justin Bieber. The music industry is built on illusions. Glamour, red carpets, spotlights so bright they blind not only the audience, but the artists themselves. So, a lot of you have been asking what I use for my skin. I'm 41, a mom of 2, and people always ask how I have glowing skin and so much energy. I don't do 10-step routines, and I definitely don't have time for self-care all day. But I do take these. GOLI Superfruit Gummies. They're packed with bamboo shoot extract and vitamins A, C, and E that support collagen production, skin elasticity, and that healthy glow we all want. My skin feels smoother, looks brighter, and honestly, I just feel more confident. And the best part? They're vegan, gluten-free, taste amazing, and actually make me feel good. Links in the description. Use Amazon for quick delivery or grab it from GOLI's site with code CELLOPHANE to save 10%. For years, Justin Bieber played the role. Boy wonder, chart topper, heartthrob. He was the dream manufactured by Hollywood, polished by labels, and paraded as pop's most valuable product. But beneath that surface was a secret that even Bieber couldn't ignore anymore. It took only minutes after the verdict for Justin's silence to break. And when it did, it wasn't subtle. It wasn't cryptic. It was a direct hit. A post, just a few lines, No press release, no video, no hashtags. But those few words detonated across the internet like a landmine. I was there. I know what happened.
Possible that some people, maybe other celebrities, were actually victimized. We don't know at this point, but what we do know is that videos of Sean Combs and Justin Bieber have been all over X and TikTok for days. Specifically this one when Bieber was 15.
As soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come in LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So every time you come in LA, it's a little dusty, but you know, I'm gonna get the front shot of this.
Man.
Head that out. Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Now that video has been viewed more than 5 million times on Justin Bieber's YouTube channel. He was 15 at the time, and he was staying with Combs for 48 hours.
You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know, he did his first album. I did Usher's first album.
Justin Bieber is now a pop megastar. He's loved by fans around the world. In 2009, at the time of this video, though, he wasn't really known. He was just a kid, and his first album was coming out. Bieber is originally from Canada, and Usher signed him to manage his career. Usher actually got his start in the business through Sean Combs. He lived with him for a year when he was 13, and Usher talked about his time living with Combs on the Howard Stern show back in 2016. He was sent to what was called Puffy Flavor Camp.
And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
in the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, you know, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
So a couple of updates on Diddy. We have not fully confirmed this. We are hearing that Diddy is enrolled in a domestic violence and a drug treatment program, two separate ones, while behind bars. This is a common program offered to most all inmates. We have not been able to confirm. We're getting some conflicting information on it, but we are hearing that he is participating in those two programs. To me, and by the way, for two reasons. One, he clearly needs help. I think we heard that from the trial. Whichever way you come out, he needs help.
And it's time to tell the truth. For over a decade, fans speculated about Bieber's early days with Diddy. Photos of the two together, videos of Diddy saying Justin could hang with him for 48 hours, invitations to late-night parties, private jets, mysterious getaways. At the time, it was passed off as mentorship. But now, those memories have taken a darker shape. Because according to Justin, it wasn't mentorship. It was manipulation. The pop star dropped a second post, this one far more detailed. A chilling account of the nights he spent in Diddy's mansion. Nights where the line between business and pleasure blurred into something far more twisted. He described the initiation, the ritual of trust disguised as bonding, where young stars were brought into the fold, made to feel special, chosen, protected. But protection had a price. He didn't name names. Not yet.
Where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose.
As Sean Diddy Combs enters his 5th day in federal court, hearing testimony from his ex, Cassie, and soon members of Danity Kane, there's one high-profile star the jury might not be hearing about. Justin Bieber, breaking his silence on the ordeal after months of speculation over their one-time relationship. His rep telling ET, although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. Bieber's questionable connection to Diddy piquing interest online as the rap mogul's indictment for sex trafficking and racketeering charges, which he denies, made headlines. old clips of the two hanging out while Justin was underage resurfacing.
Let's just go get some girls. Let's go hang out with some girls.
Man after my heart, that's what I'm talking about.
We hit him like this, so we and you walking, we hanging out, you know, a little later on the night after the Usher concert.
There's also this old Jimmy Kimmel Live segment, adding to fan fears about what might have gone down with Diddy.
Got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Oh, apparently not.
Some things, everything ain't for everybody.
This all comes as Bieber's followers are worried for him, the singer's erratic social media posts causing concern week after week, the Beliebers asking if what he's seen behind the scenes of the industry led him to this point.
It's an emotional time in my life, for sure. I've been having a lot of cries lately. Just all around just being emotional, I think it just shows how much I care.
Of hiring prostitutes and sending them across state lines. But optics matter. And there was testimony about his violence. So I think if he's doing this, which we're hearing he is, it's probably a good idea. Now, the second thing is the judge asked the prosecution to come up with a list of cases where the Mann Act was used, but the John was prosecuted and sent to jail. And I am hearing from some people inside this case that prosecutors may have trouble coming up with that list because typically it's not the Johns that are prosecuted under the Mann Act. And that makes this very, very interesting in terms of sentencing.
But he did describe the house. Hallways too long, rooms with no clocks, curtains always drawn, music always playing, loud enough to distract but never loud enough to drown out the paranoia. He talked about being 15, confused, scared, too ashamed to ask questions. And that shame, he said, became control. And then came the bombshell. Justin claimed there were contracts. Not music deals, not NDAs, but silence agreements, verbal ones, emotional ones, the kind you don't sign on paper but etch into your soul. Agreements made not in offices but in dimly lit rooms where laughter masked something darker, where you were told, this is how it works, this is the cost of greatness. He detailed how he saw other kids too, younger than him, some from overseas, artists who never made it, whose names the public never learned. Faces he still remembers, even if their voices have long faded. He said he remembered how one boy asked to leave, how the next day he was gone. Not fired, not let go, just gone. And the parties? Bieber said those parties were never for fun. They were tests, tests of loyalty, tests of silence, tests to see how far a young mind could be pushed before it broke. And if you broke, they made sure nobody ever heard from you again. He never accused Diddy of physical abuse, but he accused him of something perhaps even more dangerous, psychological grooming, creating an environment so disorienting that right and wrong twisted into one sick dance of power and obedience. And Diddy? Diddy didn't respond. Not immediately. Because what could he say? Deny it? Try to paint it as a misunderstanding? That narrative was already crumbling.
Man after my heart, that's what I'm talking about.
Now let's be clear. This could have all just been a joke. But in 2020, Justin Bieber gave a tearful interview to Apple Music in which he talked about wanting to protect Billie Eilish from the music industry and the things that he had been through. There are other videos of Bieber and Combs that have circulated online.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh?
No,
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But, you never really got my number, so.
Right,
My
okay.
number?
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Again, does this video mean anything? It could just be a teenage kid caught in an awkward moment. In 2015, Combs presented Bieber with an American Music Award for Best Collaboration. And there's another video showing a birthday celebration. It shows an exchange on one of Bieber's birthdays. And finally, the fourth video making the rounds was recorded 3 years ago. Let's play that again. Some speculated that Combs was looking to see whether Bieber was wearing a wire when he patted him down. It seemed a little awkward for sure. Around this time last year, Combs and Bieber collaborated on the song Moments for Diddy's The Love album, Off the Grid. This was, of course, before the first allegations made by Cassie Ventura surfaced. Combs settled the suit with her in a day, and then the federal raid happened in March of this year. So far, Justin Bieber, like many people who know Combs, has been silent. There may be a good reason for that. He just became a father for the first time. A source close to Bieber told People he's aware of Diddy's arrest and the allegations, but added, it's not anything that he wants to focus on, though. The insider, likely Bieber's publicist, continued, saying Bieber's been in a happy bubble since baby Jack was born, and he just wants to focus on being a great dad and husband. That is also completely understandable. Justin Bieber's a first-time father. He should want to enjoy this time and cherish every moment of it. But that hasn't stopped the chatter. This TikTok video from Bieber's father-in-law, actor Stephen Baldwin, has just added to the speculation about Diddy and Bieber.
You have heard the expression, the calm before the storm. There is always a calm before the storm, but then so is there another calm after the storm. There's a calm and then a storm and then another calm.
So you get the gist. And no one knows whether Stephen Baldwin was...
The home raid had happened. The baby oil, the closed-door meetings, the former employees speaking out. There were too many pieces falling into place. Justin's next post wasn't a statement. It was a video. An old one. Never seen before. Grainy, poorly lit, but enough to recognize faces. Enough to hear voices. Enough to see Diddy talking to Justin in a tone that no grown man should ever use with a teenage boy. You gotta learn, Biebs, Diddy says. You gotta stop thinking like a kid. And then the camera cuts. Deliberately. That video alone didn't confirm anything illegal, but it confirmed something deeply wrong. A pattern. A grooming path. A man in power conditioning the next generation under the guise of mentorship. And as this video went viral, as fans dissected every frame, as former assistants and studio workers began whispering the same names again, the dam broke. One by one, artists began posting vague messages. Eyes emojis, broken hearts, praying hands, not denials, not disbelief, just quiet confirmation from those too scared or too traumatized to say more. But not Justin. He didn't stop. He went live. For 5 minutes, no music, no filter, just him. His voice shaking, his eyes red. And he said it clear as day. I saw things no kid should see. I stayed quiet because I thought I was protecting myself. But staying quiet only protected him. That ends now. And just like that, the narrative flipped.
It seems like they were saying, hey, guess what? You presented a lot for this jury. There's a lot of messages missing from your charts, though. Isn't that strange? A lot of messages missing from your chart. Messages that were quite helpful to the defense's case, right?
Yes, and honestly, there were times, Jesse, during this cross-examination, I thought, okay, are they thinking that this special agent is Cassie Ventura? Because it felt like they were just really repeating the text messages, the video exhibits in terms of just what I think they wanted to do during the cross-examination of Cassie Ventura, but they were able to get it all in under Special Agent Alyssa Penland. And so right off the bat during this cross-examination conducted by Tenny Garagos, they being the defense, asked about the duties of a special agent versus the duties of a paralegal specialist. Because if everyone remembers, yesterday we had one of the summary witnesses for the government be a paralegal specialist, and I think they were trying to compare and contrast the duties of Special Agent Alyssa Penland versus the paralegal specialist who had testified yesterday. And so Alyssa Penland had testified that the duties between a special agent are that they serve subpoenas, they investigate, whereas a paralegal specialist kind of helps get everything in terms of preparation with documents kind of all in order. But her duties in this case wasn't really to investigate, it was really to just review the charts for accuracy. She had testified to that multiple times, and then just all the exhibits that were used in particular were just something that the government, the trial team specifically, wanted to use in this particular exhibit. And so I think the defense was kind of like, okay, well, why weren't some dates included? Why weren't some messages included? Those types of things. And so the defense brings up one row which just had Sean Combs' name in it, not Cassie's name attached to this too, where it was from December 2015. It was a stay at the L'Ermitage Hotel, and that was where there was kind of damage to that particular room, and then the booking was under Diddy's assistant, that being Ryan Lopez. Then the defense brings up text messages between Christina Quorum and Eli Maroon, where Christina Quorum is like, okay, well, they are both out. That's what she said in the text message. And then the defense was kind of like, okay, well, who is they? Why didn't you investigate who they was? Because the only name that they saw in that particular row on that flight chart was just Sean Combs' name. However, around this time frame, Cassie was in South Africa shooting her movie, something that we've heard about kind of ad nauseum before. And so Penland said that, again, her job wasn't to conduct an investigation in this case. It was really just to review these charts for accuracy. But then Tenny Garagos is like, okay, well, did you ask to look at the records of where Miss Ventura was in December of 2015? Penland responds no. And then Penland also later says, it's clear someone else was there, but we just don't know who it was also in that room. As Christina Quorum wrote to Eli Maroon, they are out. And so then Tenny Garagos goes, well, it's important to accurately present the data, right? Did you ask yourself who else is in the room? And then Penland responds, well, I was able to review what was provided by the trial team. Again, this was something that she wasn't just...
The trial might have ended in a technical victory for Diddy, but in the court of public opinion, he was burning. Fast. Sponsors began pulling back. Collaborators started distancing themselves. Celebrities who once partied in his mansion started deleting photos. No one wanted to be the last one standing next to a sinking empire. The most haunting part of Bieber's testimony wasn't the abuse, it was the silence. The way everyone knew and nobody said a word. The way award shows would smile as they seated teenage artists next to adult men with unchecked reputations. The way managers, labels, lawyers all protected the machine, even if it meant sacrificing the mental health of a child. And that child grew up. He made mistakes. He self-medicated. He lashed out. And now we know why. Diddy may have walked out of that courtroom free, but his past just caught up to him. And it wasn't a prosecutor or a detective that delivered the final blow. It was the boy he thought he broke. The boy who became a man, found his voice, and refused to be silent one more day. This wasn't just about justice. This was about survival. And in speaking out, Justin Bieber did something few dared to do in the industry. He told the truth. The raw, bleeding, terrifying truth. And now, the whole world is watching.